talking about old dudes at the bar that are like wizard looking, you know, they have like all this shit going on and they're like, hey, they're old, but they're not. Like, you could tell when you look in someone's eyes, you can tell if they're like, they got a little shine or they don't, kind of thing, you know, whether they're good or bad, kind of thing. Even if they might talk all bad, you could still tell the strength of their words, you know, where their intent is or what it's coming from. So if your intent is to manipulate and hurt others, then you can fuck off, pretty much, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Because it's not needed. I don't need that. Nobody needs that. Humanity, and that's the thing, is it's coming time to where humanity doesn't need none of that shit no more, dude. We're done with that shit. And maybe not everybody's awake. Maybe that's fine or whatever. I mean, that is what it is. What it is. More people are waking up all the time to their true selves, and that's what waking up is to your true self. And so these guys can just fuck off, dude. They can just give it fucking up already. Because, you know, even though they have like technology and all this other stuff, they're still not able to infiltrate the human spirit. That's like, I don't think that can happen. I really don't. Because how can, if you're an awake person and you see this bullshit coming in, how are you not going to go, fuck you, bullshit? You know what I mean? So that's where I advocate for the fuck you spirit, the one that's like, you know what, fuck you. And other people might think you're an asshole or whatever they might think is fine. But it's not that you're an asshole, it's that you're not going to put up with bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they can't see that it's bullshit coming in or whatever. Doesn't mean that you have to do the P's and Q's thing and you have to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to sit here and be nice because everybody expects me to be nice. Fuck that shit, dude. For the love of God. I'm just saying. And
just hearing you say it like that just kind of made me cringe, because I know you enough to know that shit's not gonna happen, dude. Like, not for you. I mean, not.
Well, right. And so with the T-shirt thing, I'd like for it not to happen for anybody else either. They just gotta become aware of their own. I guess you could say power, but you know, that's got so many things attached to it. But you know, their own volition, like their own spirit.
So I'd like to dig a little bit deeper on this thing with the symbolism, because, like, you know what comes after symbolism? It's standards. Everybody has a standard, and the way it was taught to me was like, you think about, like, back in the old days with the freaking armies, they would always carry their standards with them so that the general could look down on the battlefield and tell where his troops were.
I don't know what you mean by standards. That's really, I don't know what you mean.
Well, in a philosophical way, or, you know, metaphorical way, or whatever, your standards, you know, the way people hold themselves to a certain standard, or they have expectations, like you said, of other people according to a standard. You know what I mean? Now, I had to learn earlier on that, you know, setting expectations on other people generally makes it to where you have freaking expectations that fail. You know what I mean? When you set expectations on other people and it doesn't go the way you plan it, it's usually because you're trying to control the situation. You know? And it's usually because of your standard. And for me, I've seen where, like, what I really have a problem with is it's not that guy that looks like he's, or that he looks like he's evil to the core, you know what I mean, and shit like that. It's usually the opposite for me. It's usually those people who claim to be real spiritual and loving God and everything, and then they freaking talk about just crazy shit, you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden you find out they love God, but that only pertains to white people. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're white and freaking believe in the freaking Nazi movement, you know, then I love you, but I ain't gonna talk to this person over here. You know what I mean? So that's an area that I really have an issue with, and I've noticed that, like, there's a lot of people who like to throw out that word love, but they really don't have love, you know what I mean? Like, what true love really is, you know what I mean? So that's one of the things I've noticed in it when it comes to like standards. You know, people seem to set standards on other people, and you have to meet those standards or you don't like fit within that category of, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, those people can fuck off.
you know, so that was kind of what I was thinking when you was talking there when it comes to that, you know what I mean? And that really is sad that people are like that, you know, and it doesn't help when somebody's trying to be positive and trying to live a positive life and do things, because it can drag you down as time goes by. So
yeah, depends on what you believe.
you know, well, I mean, for me personally, I've tried to keep my belief system open. You know what I mean? Like there's people, and that's hard too. Believe it or not, it is. I don't fall in line with religion. I pretty much backed off on the whole idea of believing in any kind of religion whatsoever. I'm okay with spirituality. You know, living a spiritual life is cool. I do agree with the spiritual principles that religion does have, and a lot of religious people don't understand that there is a difference between their spiritual principles and their religion. You know what I mean? And a lot of people who are spiritual that aren't religious have a hard time with that too. You know?
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things that I'm about. So it makes it tough. Like, you know how you was talking about like the beer commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn that like beer commercials. I can't allow a beer commercial be an excuse for me going out and getting drunk. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
and a lot of people who are sobering up, the first mistake they do is they freaking think that they can shelter themselves away from drugs and they can shelter themselves away from alcohol. Stay away from the bars and stay away from the liquor stores and don't watch TV because they got beer commercials, you know what I'm saying? And then all the time they're thinking that shit, they're freaking fiending for it, you know? So I had to learn that that's still freaking thinking about it. So you need to change your mind. You need to think about other things and kind of distract yourself from that way of thinking. You know what I mean?
I get a garage.
You know. So like my days now, I mean, I've been sober for well over 20 years. I mean, I don't even have the thought of alcohol. You know. And
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay. But
like very soon.
I am we're at 2 hours. Do you wanna give it up and maybe do this at another time?
It's totally up to you. I just gotta pee and then I'm good to go. Whatever.
Okay. So do you have to pee like right now?
Pretty much. We're in the next like minute, I would say.
Okay. So just let everybody know how they can get in touch with you and we can end this.
Oh, okay. galacticfire.com. Basically, that's pretty much it. TEC, not TIC.
Okay. And you're on Skype, and you're also always on Jaffe Ryder's WPRMP thing, and then usually
jump on there. Yeah.
I don't know
and
if
then
I know.
Skype,
yeah.
Instagram
too. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I have a fake book, but.
Well, let's not talk about fake book.
Woo!
But anyhow, I was glad to have you on here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream and say thank you for being here, and we can do this later on. And
yeah.
We didn't even talk about tarot cards.
I know, right? I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
I will talk to you later. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.